bottom right-hand button on your app, you should be able to see your page pop up there on your smart device. But we're not going there just yet. I'm just, again, giving you a quick review of what you should have already done per our conversation last week. All right. So you ready? So what we're going to do is go over to create ads. Now, in order to see this particular link within Facebook, if you are on desktop, go over to the far right side, upper right hand side of your screen. There's a little triangle, an upside down triangle. Click on that and you'll see a whole bunch of things underneath that, that little drop down window. Scroll down to create ads. If you happen to be on a mobile device, go to the sandwich menu icon. If you ever hear someone say sandwich menu, it's the three bars, the three horizontal bars. I guess like a sandwich, right? A little bread, meat, whatever. Go down to the right-hand corner of your mobile device. You'll see the sandwich menu icon. Click on that, and that will take you to the area where you can see create ads. Of course, click on that. Now, you'll be redirected to a page called Ads Manager. Now, one quick note here. I am assuming that you have never set up your Facebook account for creating ads. So that's what this whole tip section today is all about. All right. So again, click on Ads Manager. Now you're going to see a whole new page load up. You're going to be taken away from your typical homepage on Facebook. Now you're going to be again on this Ads Manager deal here. And for those of you who are using desktop, you'll see a brand new page load up. For those of you who are using mobile, you can actually go to your app store and download a version of this to where you can actually manage all of your ads, get data on your ads and things like that through a separate app. Just FYI, you can do it with your mobile device within your Facebook app. But if you want to get a lot more involved with this, you can download a separate app. So just look for it in the app store. And when you go to the app store, look for an app called Facebook Ads. All right, so let's get back to it. Once you're on the Ads Manager page, don't do anything. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. What I want you to do is go click the button, the sandwich icon near the name Ads Manager, that main menu button. And again, please ignore everything else on the page. There's a whole bunch of things that you can dive into. We're not going to get into that for right now because, again, we need to set your account up to where it can function on a sponsored level. All right. So upon clicking that sandwich icon, again, those three horizontal lines, this button will take you to setting up your ads account. Now, on this new page here, you're going to click on Add Account Settings. Upon doing that, here's what you're going to do. You're going to see a whole bunch of fields in this particular screen. Now, at the top there, you're going to have account name. You can put whatever account name that you want in there. It can be band, music promotion, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. It's not terribly important. Now, you are going to click yes for are you buying ads for a business purpose? Then you enter your name there next. You see like the official business name area there. It says if you don't have an official name, of course, put your name in there. So most of you will not have some kind of official business name or LLC or what have you. So go ahead and put your name in that field. Put in your personal address information. And towards the bottom there, there's a question about, are you an ad agency buying ads on behalf of an advertiser? Click no there. And there's some tax information, depending on where you are in the world and what have you. You may be required to put in some tax information, but the vast majority of us will not have to be concerned with that. Now you will be, click save. And then now you'll be taken to the previous page. Now on that previous page, just below Add Account Settings, we have billing and payment methods. So we need to go there to set up how you're going to pay for your ad. So go ahead and click on billing and payment methods. Now, once you're there, click on add payment method. From there, of course, you will fill out your preferred payment method like you would anything else online. You can even use things like PayPal. All right, so once you fill in all of your information, click continue. And that is it. You should be set up to run your ad campaigns on Facebook. All right, so what you're going to need to do in order to run your ad campaigns is navigate back to the ad manager page. Now, here is where your homework is going to begin, because there's a lot on this page. If I were to go through every single item on this page, this podcast could go on for 6 hours. Ain't nobody got time for that. So go back to that page, and I want you to look at some of the things that are there. You're going to see things like web traffic, conversion, leads, all kinds of stuff. Here's what you should do. Look up some YouTube videos on creating your first Facebook ad, or things like basic Facebook ad setup. So again, don't worry about looking up things about setting up your account information. That's already been done. You want to look for things that talk about building your first ad. Now, the reason why I'm not going through all this detail with you is because we discussed earlier that Facebook offers a huge number of options to market yourself. So it's not about just having that sponsored box pop up on someone's screen. There are a ton of things that box can do. It can feature a video ad. It can have an image ad. It can be a post boost, as they call it. What happens when they click the ad? There are a number of different options. So that's why I want you to go off and do some of your own homework, because each of you will have different circumstances. And I don't want to assume that how you want to market your Facebook campaign will be the same as another musician. Having said that, though, I do believe that there are a few things that will apply to everyone with respect to starting your ad campaign on Facebook. Here's the first thing. When you start setting up your ads, you're going to find 3 major containers, if you will, within Facebook. I'm calling them containers. That's just kind of my phrasing for it. But what you need to know is that within Facebook, there are 3 major levels with respect to setting up your ad. You have the ad campaign, you have the ad group, and then you have the ads. So an example of this, for those of you who are living in the United States, it's almost like saying, hey, you live in the U.S., but you reside in the state of, California. And in California, you live in the city of Los Angeles. So in other words, the Facebook campaign is kind of the same way. The campaign itself is the larger thing. It's the country. It's the overarching container for what you're doing. Now, within that, you can have different little groups of initiatives within that campaign. And then further down within each group, you can have a very specific ad that you are launching. So again, within Facebook, it usually works within this 3-tiered system. Now, let's talk about the campaign level overall. This is a top level. When you set up your ads, you will be given the opportunity to set your budget. Now, earlier, I mentioned that you can actually market your business for as little as $5. This is where you would make that designation. On a daily basis, you can set your ad budget to be whatever you want. But when starting off, personally, I would recommend just $5. Don't go spend $25 per day. That's a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. Start off with a campaign that's set for $5. So what that means is that everything within that campaign, no matter how many ad groups and how many ads you have within your campaign, you can have 50 different ads within the campaign, like different images, different videos. But no matter what happens, the overall campaign cannot spend more than $5 a day. So at a high level, if I were you, I would set the ad campaign at $5. And that again will restrict the overall spending for your ads. Next thing, under the budget and schedule area, you can determine how long your ads will go. So I mentioned $5 per day as my recommendation. Well, you can have that ad campaign go on for 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month. Just make sure you do your math and set the length of your campaign to the appropriate time frame. So for instance, if you run your ad for 1 week and your ad budget is $5 a day, help me out with the math here. That's $35. Are you following me? So the point being is that you want to make sure that when you set up your ad campaign, don't just set up $5 per day, put some ads out there and you go away and forget about it, because you can look up a month from now and have 30 something days multiplied by 5. And if you didn't budget for that, that would suck. So again, make sure you restrict how long you want your ads to run. All right. So here's the biggest thing that I believe that will help you with your ad campaign with Facebook. It's all found under the audience setting. Now, there are a number of things that you can set up here. One, you can put in where your audience is. So in other words, if you feel that the people who will get behind your music, if they're here in the US, if they're in Canada, if they're in Australia, you can set that here in this area. If, for instance, they are in a particular state or city, you can actually put that designation in the geographic portion under audience. So this is a phenomenal tool. So for instance, and this is just a hypothetical, but if you were doing a show in Denver, Colorado, you can set up your ad campaign overall to reach only the people who are on Facebook in Denver, Colorado, because you're doing a show there on the first of the month or whatever. So the point is, this allows you to geographically go after certain people. Now, conversely, I've run ads in the past where I had it worldwide. I don't know why I did that, but I did that once where I had a worldwide campaign, and I realized I was getting a lot of traffic from overseas in places that people, I don't know if they were just clicking on because they're clicking on the ads because they're interested or what have you, but they weren't spending any money. They weren't adding anything to my fan base. And every time they clicked on my ad, I was spending money. So I realized, well, wait a minute. I don't need 1 billion visitors from X country. I felt trying to build an audience in that particular part of the world wasn't advantageous for me at that point. You don't want to make your audience too big to the point where their presence in your social media world is not advantageous. Next, you can also put a designation on the age and gender of the people that you want to reach. Again, another story. I was running some ads before, and I realized after getting the data, the analytics that we talked about, that for some odd reason, my ad was appealing to a lot of older people. I don't know why that was the case. So that caused me to look at what kind of ads was I putting out. Clearly, I wasn't reaching the millennials with my ads, so something was wrong there. So the point being is that if you are targeting a certain age group, you want millennials, or you want middle-aged people, or you want younger kids for your Kids Bop 2000 mix, whatever, you can put that designation here in this particular area. Now, here's the biggest one under audience. I mean, the biggest one. Play around with the settings related to detailed targeting. This is where the magic happens. All right. So do you remember earlier when I was talking about the idea that my wife and I are looking to buy a house? How in the world did Facebook know to start sending her Facebook page ads related to buying houses? Well, some sponsored ad person in this particular area entered in information relative to behaviors associated with buying a home. So in other words, in this particular area under the audience selection, you can actually start to put in parameters that will help you identify that audience member you're looking for, whether it be someone that's interested in buying music, or you put in terms like iTunes, or you put in things like concerts, or you put in the names of music artists, maybe competing music artists